What is up, everybody? It's Brett and Brian back for another tip for Tuesday. So, how's it going today, man?
I'm doing great, Brian. Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure to see you and everybody
Awesome.
else out there. So,
There we go. There we go. So, we're going to kind of jump into a series for our tip for Tuesdays now on just basically about how to manage your buyers list and work with your buyers list. So, and I think a lot of people, and this was kind of the way I kind of thought about it too, when I worried about adding names to my buyers list and just trying to build my buyers list, really what I kind of thought it was at first was basically just a list of names that I literally would just kind of put in my email. So whenever I email blasted out a property, that was my buyers list, just my email list and things like that. But really what we want to talk about over the next couple of weeks, especially today, is just what that buyers list really consists of and just the best ways to manage it. So it's not just an email list. Really, what I would really recommend is kind of just creating a spreadsheet, having all those buyers on there, and then as well as certain criteria and stuff like that that you need to make sure you're tracking as well. So, Brett, why don't you get into a little bit of maybe what they could be putting on their spreadsheet or what criteria they could be looking for their buyers list?
yeah, I think the most important thing when you're building a buyer's list is getting to know your buyer a little bit. We've talked a little bit about reverse wholesaling, figuring out what your buyer wants. So, some of the criteria that we put on our spreadsheet is what areas are they buying in. Certain buyers like to buy in different areas. Like, for example, here in Indianapolis, there's people who like to flip houses in downtown Indianapolis and some of those neighborhoods that are really hot, right? There's other buyers that want to get outside the 465 loop and they want to buy in cookie cutter types of neighborhoods that are built after 2000. There's other buyers that they just want rentals, right? They want an 800 a month rental in Lawrence Township. So figure out, number one, what are your buyers want? What areas are they looking for? Some buyers want a certain amount of bedrooms. They want at least 3 bedrooms or more, or at least 2 bathrooms or more. So figure out what bedrooms and bathrooms number that they want. And then there's price point. So some buyers, they want to stick between $50 to $100,000. Some will go up to 300. Some want to buy properties under 30. So that's just kind of something to get to know with your buyer. So there's some of the criteria I would look for. And Brian, you've obviously were a dispositions manager for our company for a good year or two. So what are some of the things that you're looking at?
Yeah, definitely. I think you mentioned, some of the main ones of like knowing where they're buying the, certain neighborhoods, certain areas, zip codes, kind of all those kind of things. I always like to take the zip code and then break it or really take what area of Indy, like what section of Indy they're looking at. But then I break it down into what zip code and then really what neighborhood or even what street or what pocket of that neighborhood. I think is really, really important. But then the price points, definitely where you need to be. So, yeah, some people maybe and different buyers have different criteria. Maybe the one buyer, he might go up to a certain amount of money for a flip opportunity, but then he has a certain price point for rentals as well. So, kind of understanding what that is. Yeah, and then basically, like you said, the criteria of like the date of when the house was built. Some buyers take a look at that. Bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and then one of the other main things is just like how much rehab it needs. So, some buyers are willing to take on, large rehab projects. Some people just want to just go in and do paint and carpet and turn around that way. So kind of knowing the amount of rehab that they're comfortable with or what they're really looking for are just some of the things that I definitely keep track of on a spreadsheet, on your buyers list. You can do it in your CRM if you have one of those as well. So those are the main criteria that we kind of look at for our buyers list. And then you can also add to that as well. We'll be back next week, I think. Well, you got something else to add, Brett?
I was just going to say that don't focus on the quantity as much as the quality. So I would much rather have 25 really good buyers that I know them really well. I know the exact areas they're going to buy in rather than 2,000 buyers that I never talk to, that I don't really know them very well, and they don't buy at all. So I think that's just really important to focus on the quality buyers. You don't need a big buyers list to build a great business. I've seen wholesalers build a tremendous business on having 5 buyers, and they just keep feeding them deals. So I think that the quality is really important.
Yeah, awesome. That's really good. And that's a good lead into we'll be back next week to kind of talk about how to manage that actual buyers list, how many times you should check in with them, and then really working on those buyers that you really want to build deep relationships with and making sure you're feeding them properties versus having that huge buyers list of just adding names to it. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you next week.